intro. Just a second. Let's see. So what's up? Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. Sorry guys, my intro is for some reason is not working. I don't know what's up. Maybe the big brother is already listening to us. And yes, what an awesome show we have got today. The final experiment, the 24-hour sun. Is there a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Is it possible a 24-hour sun in flat Earth? And what is really happening with this whole, which looks like a pre-planned attack on flat Earth with this final experiment? So that and a lot much more we're going to be looking forward to discuss with today's guest. We've been looking forward from a really long time to have this conversation, and finally we have them here. So get comfortable, get your coffee, a tea, or whatever makes you comfortable, Spliff, and let's jump in. So let's say a quick hello to my co-host and good brother Gene, all the way from New York. How are you, Gene?
Hey, Vikka. Doing great, brother. Thanks for the show, man. This is going to be awesome. Thanks, everybody, for showing up and spending your time with us. This is a great topic, bro. I can't wait to get into this. I think it's a psyop. You know, it's a long, drawn, boring psyop right now. They're not going. Where's all the proof that they should have had for 100 years of this already? Right, and now they're calling this out right now all of a sudden because we're reaching critical mass, guys. You know, we're this crowd is getting bigger and bigger and more diverse with a lot of different angles we're coming from, a lot of different people starting to understand. So I think it's a lot of damage control going on with this personally. So yeah, with that, hey guys, we got some special guests tonight. I want to just say, I hope everybody out there is okay with all the things going on in the United States these days. My thought, my hearts, my prayers are going out to all of you guys. And, they're really laying it on thick lately. And I think that's possibly because of critical mass reaching so many different people these days. So we're lucky to have our guests and Vikka, for you to throw the show on again tonight, and I'm very thankful, happy to be here with you all, and welcome everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And I think we needed opinions of our invitees today, especially with all this what's happening. That's why we all are here. So yes, our next guest is. I heard about him on Facebook. I'm on Facebook a lot, and I saw some of his observations, some of his research, and I resonate with a lot of his stuff. So I was looking forward to have him on our show. He's known as Joe Hanvey. Brother, welcome to the show, Heliopsychosis. How are you doing? Joe, are you there?
Okay.
All right.
It just took a minute to bring me in.
Oh yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm glad to be here. It's a topic that I've obviously had a lot to say about, so we'll have plenty of good conversation regarding it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hope we fit. Try to get everything we want to discuss here tonight with the time limit. And let's, without further ado, with no introduction, the legend himself, David Weiss. Brother, how are you?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, the flat Earth.
The flat Earth,
experiment.
Man. No, flat Earth. That's what TFE is. The flat Earth. Just remember that. It's nothing else other than the flat Earth. So here, make it easier to see. There you go. The flat Earth.
That's great.
Yeah. So how the things are evolving, how it's getting closer. I don't know. It sounds really strange. What I am seeing with the last things I'm seeing around is these guys are really confident to destroy flat Earth. Like these guys seems. Yeah.
They're so globers are disingenuous, right? They go, no flat earther will ever describe how a sun sets. No, we do that all the time. I actually specialize in that, right? No flat earther can explain a sunset, or no flat earther can, but it's stuff that we do all the time. So disingenuous is the word, right? And this final experiment, one, it's not an experiment, it's not final. And I'll give it to you. Now, Joe and I, we might have different opinions on what's going to happen in the sky. I don't think there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And when I say a sun, I know that the sun has to go from Santiago all the way around to Australia at midnight in Santiago time. The sun would be over in Australia, heating and lighting Australia. So how could the sun be over Antarctica behind people's heads in Antarctica? And the answer is, I don't know, but I can't rule out the possibility that there is some sort of reflection out there. Joe has shown me some things. I don't even know if we fully understand it, but the thing is, no matter what happens in the sky, it doesn't change the Earth, the measurements of the Earth, right? In the heliocentric model, you have to remember, this is unfair. It's the way it is, but the globe side is on the losing side, because if the sun sets in Antarctica, the globe is finished. There is no excuse for the globe, because the globe model has a physical sun 93 million miles away, a tilted Earth, and it cannot set for that 4 months. So if it does, it's over. Now, if the sun doesn't set, that means we don't understand the sky. It doesn't mean that the Earth isn't flat. And I have an experiment I'm going to show you guys. I want to show you guys that I think would actually prove it. And like your opinion on it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But again, do I think there's a circling sun? Since they faked videos, the tour guides, when called, they say, no, well, we can't. No one's ever seen the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Plenty have seen it in the north. The weather, in the south, it's the coldest. How do you have a 24-hour sun for 4 months and it's so friggin' cold? Wait, the sun's not setting, right? It should be a little warm, don't you think? So again, this guy, Will Duffy, we're going to get into him in a little bit, and then I'll toss it back to you. He came out of nowhere, right? He's dedicating his life to this when he has massive issues going on, with his life financially, and all he cares is about settling the argument. And Joe, I think you have a clip, but hopefully you're going to play it, where he admitted that the sun, I'm hearing an echo, whoever's got something playing in the background. He admitted that what was it, his exact quote? You put it on Facebook the other day, Joe.
Well, I just asked him, I said, if we live in an enclosed dome, then wouldn't that mean that there's a lot of variables within the sky that we don't understand? And he said, I can grant you that.
I can grant you that. So again, the heliocentric model, there is no variable. There is no dome. There is a claim that they got a burning ball of helium and hydrogen in the space vacuum. That's cool. Cool story, bro. Right. And if it sets, it's the end of the globe model. Right. So again, it's the final experiment for the globe, not for the flat Earth. So there you go.
I would agree.
Right. And I don't, since I'm chatting here, everyone's like, oh, Dave Weiss, he said, this meme's going around. They can't help but post this disingenuous meme. Dave Weiss, a globe would have to have a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Yes, it would. But that doesn't mean, then I'm offered a free trip and I say no, but that doesn't mean if there is a 24-hour sun that there isn't a possibility for the flood. There's stuff that we don't understand. Right? So I did say this. I also said a long time ago in 2014, 2015, I said, there is no flight from Santiago to Australia. And if there is, that proves the globe. Well, that was stupid. I also used to say the Earth is a globe and flat Earth is stupid. I said a lot of things, right? But we learn over time. And then we found out, you know what? these planes, these 787 Dreamliners, go a little faster than they're telling us. Have heat resistant paint. Then we found out they fly higher, and we found at higher there's like 350 mile an hour tailwinds. A 650 plane with a 350 tailwind, that's 1,000 miles an hour. The flights work perfectly. So I was able to change my understanding of what's going on in the sky. We have a physical plane in a non-physical sky. And so, you know, they're making it like everything we say is you have to hang your hat on it, right?
Yeah.
And if I may have once said that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica disproves flat Earth. I may have said that, but that's before I understood that, you know, I thought the sun was a physical object, right? I am pretty darn convinced that the sun that we see is not physical, that it's a reflection or projection or whatever you want to call it. So again, as we're learning, you know, this isn't us backpedaling, you know, our ideas. This isn't backpedaling. This is just learning from it, right? So people say, you know, how come you're not going? Well, this guy, and I'm going to try to be very nice, not use any bad words, because he says he's a preacher. I don't believe it. Okay. You know, want some free candy? No thanks, right? Because that's a false dichotomy, right? Going down there saying that if the sun sets, Earth is not a globe. That's cool. That works. I'm good with that. But if the sun circles, that just means we don't understand the sky. So the false dichotomy of this trip. And here's one thing. Could they fake it? I kind of think that they could, right? But that's a whole other thing, right? I actually think that it's not even that hard.
Yep.
Are they going to let us see a setting sun? Absolutely not, no matter what. Whether they cancel the trip, whether it's cloudy, whether, you know, they scopolamine, whatever, you know, they're not going to let them see. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just throwing that out there as a joke. We know that for sure. They're not going to go, oh, you know what? Will Duffy got these people together and damn it, they blew our, you know, couple 100-year scam. And now the whole world is going to become free because they've discovered that, you know, we're on a flat plane and there's a creator, and that's not going to happen. They're not going to let that happen. That's the only thing that we know for sure. They're not going to let that happen. The whole trip could be canceled, right? There could be COVIDs, whatever. So that's one thing we know for sure. So there's my rant. I'll throw it back to you guys.
I think before this is the thing I wanted to mention. We became flat earthers because we were open for difference of opinion and to change our belief or knowing or things we see. Right. That is one of the reasons we became flat earthers from a globe earthers. Right. We all were bought into the globe, even if we wanted or no. And we had this idea. So why is it not possible to have an open mind to that things maybe right now some people don't understand and some people are trying to get an idea what's happening. But as always, the ancients have always left us clues. Always, if we really wanted. The only thing with this 24-hour sun is coming up right now. That's why everybody wants to look into it, because I don't think every flat earther said that is the final thing, that if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, the Earth is a globe. I don't think so.
There's only one that said that. There's only one that said if he sees a circling sun, he'll say the Earth is a globe. There's only one. Okay? I don't know anyone else. I don't know anyone else that said it, but I think that person, I'm not even going to say the name, everyone can figure out who it is so confident there's not a 24-hour sun. They're like, I don't care if it circles. Okay, it's a globe. That's like me saying, you know, I've got a test, and if the test fails, I'll say the Earth is a globe because I know the test isn't going to fail. Okay? So, you know, it's just a weird thing. It's just a weird thing. I think we have our two best guys going, by the way. I think Austin and Jaron going together are the two most equipped to really see through. And think about this. Everything the Globers have done from day one of this fight since 2014 or even before, they failed. They've done it horribly. We've seen through it. We've exposed it. They suck. And it's probably going to happen again. Right? And I just think we just need to be on our toes. But the problem is the world is stupid. Okay, the world doesn't understand half the stuff we're talking about, and they'll have the mic of the mainstream media, right? Will Duffy's going to go on tour. He's going to be on Good Morning America. He's going to be everywhere, right? And he's going to be saying, and he's going to show some professional animation, probably made by, you know, one of those, you know, whoever's doing the Cool Hard Logic or something, showing people how on a flat Earth the sun would not work. You know, the 24 hour, they won't even talk about the coffee cup caustic because no one will be able to understand that. So he'll be talking about that. He'll be like, flat earthers were there. It was daylight the whole time, whatever they want to say. And they'll have the microphone, right? So that's what they do, but it's not going to, whatever happens, it's not going to kill flat Earth. It's going to bring more attention to it. That's for sure. But we just need to, you know, understand that this guy, Will Duffy, is not a good man. Okay. He's probably listening. You know it. I know it. Okay. You can deny it, but you and I know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Joe, brother, I wanted to ask you, how did you, I thought we all saw your demonstration, like, you know, we all are learning, we are trying to understand also from which point you started looking into it and you thought that there might be a possibility of some optical thing happening there. How did you start with it? At what point, or what got you into that?
Yeah, sure. I'll start with this. I want to say I completely agree with Dave that Austin and Jaron are the best representatives for our team to be down there. I would agree with that 100%. And people who keep calling them shills and all that, you need to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just need to stop.
Yeah. And the Globers are running with that. They're shills. Jaron's going to be a flat earther, whatever. No, there's 0% that either of them will become, I mean, globe earthers. They're just to stop it. Everybody just stop it. Okay.
So
sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. So yeah, I mean, one, everything is optical. We perceive our world through our eyes, which are optics. Everything outside is optical. So to every flat earth, I mean, I've been a flat earther, I think roughly 13 years. And one of the first mantras of flat earth I ever heard was the lights in the ceiling don't determine the floor beneath your feet. So I've always held that as a truth, like, because we can't get up there, we can't measure them, we don't know exactly what they are. We can speculate, we can theorize, but we don't know. So to say that because the light in the ceiling does something funny changes the measurement that I can perform on the floor beneath my feet was just always odd to me. However, from a growth standpoint, I think everybody here would agree that if the truth has been hidden from us, actively hidden from us for generations and still being actively hidden from us, there's no good resource to go figure out the truth. We have to do it ourselves, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So of course we're going to progress in our train of thought and our knowledge of that hidden truth as we uncover more evidence, more knowledge, more wisdom, whatever people want to call it, more scientific understanding, whatever it may be. So, but what really brought me to trying to figure out if the 24-hour sun was possible within our model or within a conceptualized model, because I don't want to say that my model that I use is what every flat earther believes. I don't speak for every flat earther. And it's just a conceptualized model to visualize what could possibly happen based on assumptions that we're making as flat earthers. So I set out about 5 years ago to start doing as much research as far as observations, documentations, and studies and demonstrations and experiments, and then having those filed away to explain all of the hard stuff, the quote unquote hard stuff in the model, like the solar eclipses. Because as a flat earther, all these years I've heard, well, how do solar eclipses work? How do lunar eclipses work? How does the precession of the equinoxes work? How does Polaris's movement around center work? I mean, you get, how do the seasons work? How does the compass work? How does a sunset, sunrise, sunset work? How does a moonrise, moonset work? So I set out to answer all of those things. And up until about 2-3 months ago, I had answered all of them so far with good demonstrations based on the flat Earth assumptions of a toroidal field inside of a dome or some sort of dome toroidal field structure. The only two things that I hadn't gotten to were the 24-hour sun and the star trails, southern star trails.
It's the same thing, brother, in reality. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and exactly. So I was talking to my friend in New Zealand. I've never been that far south to witness sunrises and sunsets all year round. So I have friends in New Zealand and Australia now, thanks to social media and things like that. And we can get together and have these kind of conversations, and they can take things or use apps like Dave's app or the FE Pro app, or take little domes like this and lasers like this and show me things live about how the sun is moving across their realm and how it's visually observed by them to move across the sky in that part of the realm. And so my friend and I, Chris, in New Zealand, I think it's called Taranaki, New Zealand, we were looking at the FE Pro app, and he was showing me how, like, if this is his visual sky and let's say towards me is facing south, he showed me how during his summer solstice, the sun comes up around like this. I mean, yeah, for y'all's perspective. But anyway, it comes up and around like that, and it's in the sky for a very long time. But what I found interesting was where it was coming up. So it was coming up southeast, and then it was going down southwest, and that's in Taranaki, New Zealand. So that's already supposedly a problem for the flat Earth, according to the globe claims. So it was weird to me at that point, because we were both like, and in the app he was using, you couldn't move the cursor far enough south to see if it would stay in the sky for 24 hours, but he could move it far enough to where it stayed almost for 24 hours. So we were both talking. We were like, maybe if you're far enough south, there is this optical phenomenon where the sun stays visible for 24 hours. I had already been working with physical model for going on 3 years after deciding 5 years ago to figure it out. So I started playing around in the model, and admittedly, my half dozen or whatever it was, or dozen or so first demonstrations were poor explanations, is all they were. It was working the whole time. I just didn't have a great way of explaining it, and I put it out there too soon. So it is viable in our model, and I can actually do it under 3 different assumptions. I can do it under the assumptions of us having an azimuthal grid dome view created by our eyes inside of a physical celestial dome. I can do it without this and just the celestial dome, and explaining it based on the way the light is being manipulated by the realm. And then I can do it also if I add in what I use to mimic a superfluid ceiling. When I add that in, I can get it to work that way as well. And what's interesting is it seems to be working in 6 different zones. So it's like the hexagon. If you place a hexagon around each one of those triangles would represent a 4-hour zone. And it appears that this optical phenomenon is happening in all of those zones, all the way around the edge, while the source light is moving over Capricorn for us. And now that I've seen that happening in my modeling, I think it is very possible that they're going to see a 24-hour sun down there. As far as why we don't have as much video of it leading up, I think there's answers for that. I think most of the tours that go down there are on cruise ships. So they're staying really close to that Antarctic circle. And yeah, I think they travel into the ice wall and see the penguins and the stuff like that. But for the most time, they're on their cruise ship right at that Antarctic circle. Well, you're not going to see the 24-hour sun unless you're inside the Antarctic circle. And depending on where you're at in the time of year, you will or will not see it if you're not further in, if that makes sense. So I do believe it's an optical thing. I do believe we're going to see it within the realm. I believe it happens. But again, that doesn't change the fact that we are visually looking at a light that is remaining above the horizontal plane of reference. Everything we do is based on a horizontal plane of reference. So the elevation angle to that light source is based on a horizontal plane of reference. And we can actually predict now, a friend of mine is working on a new app, and we can actually predict where they will see it, the degree that they will see it in the sky throughout the day. As Will Duffy says, well, we don't have flat earthers making any predictions. Yes, we can actually predict where they will see it, what degree they will see it in their sky throughout the day, and put that out there ahead of time. So that was kind of my journey to changing my mind about the fact that it doesn't happen or that it couldn't happen. I never was in the camp that it couldn't happen, but I was in the camp that I didn't think it happened based on the same reasons that Dave issued. That one, we don't have footage. Tour guide, we don't see it.
Fake footage.
Yeah, the fake footage. They don't even offer a midnight sun for Antarctic tours, which is odd because the Arctic tours, that is a big seller. So you would think if it was.
Joe, let me jump in. I've been looking at as many videos as I can from the place that those guys are going, and for days I tried to find videos where the sky was blue, and I couldn't find any. It was all overcast. But Will Duffy is so positive that it's going to be blue sky. Something's weird. Something is up with that. Okay, I think that this trip is not that this is not Will Duffy's idea. This is my opinion. I could be totally wrong. That this is he's being put up for this. I have my theories on why and why he's cooperating and whatnot. But they're going to try something. I don't know what it is, but the fact that he's so positive it's going to be clear sky, that to me is an issue. Now, you know, Jaron and Austin are like, well, clear sky is even better because we'll be able to see it. If they fake it, we'll know it. You know, if it's a reflection, we'll know it. I don't know about that second one because I think the sun that we see is a reflection, right? I was sitting in Vegas once. I told the story. I think was it a flat Earth conference, or I think I was in Vegas at some conference. I'm at the pool. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, and the sun is on my right side. I'm eating some food, and it's literally toasting the right side of my body. I'm just like, I think I got to go sit on the other side so I don't look like you know, one of those black and white cookies. But then to my left was the hotel, which was all mirrors, and the sun lined up with one of the windows perfectly, and it was reflecting on the left side of my face. And I closed my eyes, and I said, if I didn't know that the sun was over there, would I be able to tell which one was the real sun? And I couldn't tell you. I mean, it was the same amount of heat. It was the same intensity. And like, if I didn't know it was reflecting off of there, I would not be able to tell the difference.
Can I add something right here?
Yeah, go for it.
So like, yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I believe if it is a reflection, it's a perfect reflection. I can go out in my pool, turn off my jets, and let the water really get calm on a sunny day, and zoom in with my camera on the sun and see sunspots in the water.
In the pool.
Yeah.
In the pool.
Yeah,
Nice.
in the reflection of the water.
But I think even Joe, even Dave did something. I think I saw in one of your videos where you are reflecting the sun on a piece of cloth, and you can literally see the sunspots. I don't know if it was your video, but I remember seeing a video of. It's not directly.
That wasn't
mine, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you know, and to say that there's two suns is not really the correct answer. It's this where you are, where you see the sun, where you see the optical sun, and you know, you guys know this video, right? This Freemason video where the guy shows the the black sun and everything. Now, this is my belief. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I think that the stars are just there. They just go out to the tropics, and that's it. It's just the northern stars, and that they're spinning. And then the southern stars are a reflection of them. Here's a little experiment I did. So I got this plate. Just imagine this is stars, and here's the equator right here. And as I spin the plate, the southern stars spin in the opposite direction. So if this is the sun, it comes around and it moves over, and so it would go this way. Right now, we've already seen in Shane's model, that your guy that does the app, where it shows the sun rise in the southeast and set in the southwest. Well, that we all agree. Everyone goes. We all agree that is that's how we see in our azimuthal dome of vision. You just take it a step farther, saying that it doesn't set, that it keeps on going around.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
I think, and you think about this. So if this is the North Star here, you'll have a center point of rotation out here, and no matter where you are around this, you're going to have those same stars rotating everywhere. So that solves the problem of like, how can you see the same stars if you're off of Santiago or off of Australia? They're all spinning.
The whole sky, Dave, the whole sky is being reflected. I think I tagged you both on a video. Maybe if we get time, I'll play it a little bit so that the people can have an idea also what we are trying to say, that being the projection of the North Pole of the central disk of with the North Pole and the constellation being reflected in the southern part. So if all the luminaries are reflecting, so even the sun and the moon could be playing the same part. There are people who are claiming that there are Sigma Octantis and the star rotation is going around Sigma Octantis seen by different places in the south.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things about when I decided to start demonstrating whether the 24-hour sun could happen within our model. It actually gave me the star trails. That same principle is what gave me the southern star trails. Now I can set up the model, put a rotating star field inside of the dome, focus my camera on the southern part of the dome, the hemisphere, and take a long exposure, and you get this perfect circular rotation on any point of the southern dome facing any direction south, which is very cool. And then my friend in New Zealand, like everybody talks about Sigma Octantis like it's a pole star. Well, my friend in New Zealand who sends me southern star trails, there is no star in the center, which I find interesting. There's just the Southern Cross going around a hole in the center, and it has two pointer stars to the Southern Cross. And I believe what you're saying, Vikka, that yeah, it's a reflection of the overall star field appearing to go in an opposite direction, because we have the Arctic where we see one type of arc, and we have the anti-Arctic where we see another type of arc. And that's true for it's true for the stars, it's true for the sun, it's true for the moon as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it's an optical thing. I think it will happen, but I don't think, this is my personal belief, I don't think they can fake it. I believe if someone with a proper solar filter and the proper knowledge of how to operate a camera or a telescope is looking at the sun, they're not going to be able to fake it. Because if they have a fake sun, no matter what they use, whether they use mirrors or LEDs or some sort of special lighting that we don't know about, we're going to pick up the filament and the reflection of each of those with that camera setup and filter.
Joe, what if it was behind a not too heavy but decent cloud deck? So we're seeing the sun through a pretty thick overcast.
Then
you think they could fake that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess that would be possible if they're doing some sort of type of reflection technology, and we wouldn't be able to see the sunspots that way. So that would be like the math problem where you can't answer the problem because you don't have enough information.
So this is my prediction, could totally be wrong, that if the trip happens, that they will, and they do see a sun, it'll be behind clouds. It'll be daylight the whole time because of the coffee cup caustic. And they will see a bright spot behind the clouds. Now, if that happens, Jaron and Austin and even Will agreed that that's a win for Flat Earth. But in reality, they could just run with that story. Hey, you know, it was cloudy, but it was daylight, and the sun went around, and the Flat Earthers filmed it, but they want to deny it because it was cloudy. What do they expect? We're in Antarctica. You know, it's going to be cloudy. That's my best guess, is what they're going to disingenuously run with that story. But who knows?
Exactly. If it's a source of light, because if they have to do it, it might be just for a few hours. They don't have to put a 12-hour show there,
right?
With anything else they want to. It would be for a few hours only.
But they have to do it 3 or 4 days in a row, right? And that's going to be difficult to do. But you can't rule anything out these days. I mean, look at the crazy technologies they have. There's stuff that we have no idea about, you know, and on all sorts of, you know, could they have something physical up in the sky? I don't know. They have incredible technologies that we're just becoming aware of.
exactly what might sound and look magical to us. That is why the people is hard to believe. If they can manipulate weather manipulation and many things with the tectonic plates, with the tsunamis, a lot of things they can do with the harp. Who don't that they are possible to create? I always mention about the Proba 3 where they are eclipse on demand. You guys heard about refractal orbit. These guys are now speaking about a sunlight through an app. You can ask for a
All that
sunlight through an
demand
app,
kind of
right?
stuff.
So I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but this is crazy, right? So I'm not saying it's absolutely possible, but they might take advantage or use some kind of tech that if there's a possibility that there's a little bit of less light for these few hours, that they can substitute it without even noticing it for anybody, because it just might be few hours, right? And if the
But we
spot is
listen.
already studied.
We
Yeah.
don't know that even exists. It could. I know exactly what you're talking about. It could. We just can't rule it out because this deception, the globe lie, they can't give it up, because when they give it up, all power, all governments, everything changes. The entire system falls apart in a good way, right? Because the people will be freed from the heliocentric matrix. But this is bigger than most people are willing to admit, and I just think that we need to be prepared. I think we are prepared, but and again, don't get me wrong. It's good that someone's going. It doesn't matter. Jared even said it. Who cares if Will Duffy's a deceiver? He's paying for a trip. I'm going. I'm not going to ignore him. I'm going to pay attention to the sky. Awesome. But we have to be prepared. They're going to try some bullshit. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm of the
Go
camp
ahead,
that
brother.
I'm praying for very clear skies and great documentation.
Yeah.
Because even if it does happen, the truth is on our side. Like,
Yeah.
we know the floor is level.
Right.
So all it does is it gives us more information to study and learn and grow in our knowledge and wisdom of the realm that we're in. That's kind of my opinion on it. I'm glad they're going. I'm glad Austin and Jaron are the guys that are going with them. So yeah.
Hey Joe, you're very knowledgeable with scopes and cameras and stuff. Can you I asked Austin to come up with a list of equipment that those guys need, from memory cards to everything, to get it out. Let's, people probably have some of the stuff sitting around that we can get to them rather than wait to the last minute. Like, can you suggest, hey, you need this camera, you need this filter, you need 50 of these memory cards, you need these battery warmers, whatever it is. We need to figure out what that is and make sure they have all the equipment that they need.
Yeah, well, mainly they'll need a star tracker that you can set to solar, and that will track the sun for them for 24 hours. You're going to need a power supply to keep either your battery charged or your camera or scope operating. So there needs to be some sort of power supply, whether that is a battery pack that uses solar charging panels that'll run them all for a 24-hour period or whatever. You need solar filters. You need
I'm just saying, maybe you want to come up with a nice list, of the exact things that they need, whatever you can come up with, and send it to Austin, and they could either, they can take advantage of it or not.
Yeah, I actually offered to let Austin use any of my equipment. I know he's busy, so
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really, a solar scope would be like a Coronado or a Lunt solar scope would probably, on a good tracking mount with a good dedicated astro camera, would be my go-to setup if I was going down there.
All right. Hey, so I heard Will. We can keep talking. I want to show my my idea of the final experiment, and I heard Will saying, you know what? You guys say you want to fly across Antarctica. Like, if you did that, are you going to say, oh, it doesn't? Are you going to change your mind? Right? That's legit that he could ask that. But let me run this experiment by you guys and tell me if you think that this proves flat or globe. All right. So we got Antarctica. They tell us it's 10 to 13,000 miles around. Okay. Right. So we get South America. We get 2 airplanes. We fly to Antarctica. We prove that we're in Antarctica. I think we can do that. Both planes take off and they fly as close to the shoreline as they can, 1,000 feet in the air, so we can see the ground. We can tell that we're going average speed. You know, you can tell if you can see the ground, you could figure out, all right, I'm not going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm going 5 to 550 or whatever, even 600, right? So, it would be 7,000. It'd be 14 hours, right? Or 13 hours, something like that. 13 hours at 500 miles an hour would bring both planes over to here. Right? If the Earth is a globe, it would take 13 hours for both planes to meet. If the Earth is flat, both planes would have to go over here 34,000 miles. So that would take 70 hours, 72 hours. Okay? So the margin is plenty big so there's no confusion. There's no confusion. Now the question is, Joe, or any of you chime in. If they were able to go from here to here, okay, we'll go back. From here to here, and it only took 7 hours. What would you guys say to that? Does that prove that the Earth is not flat? Now, you have to remember, I don't think that's going to happen. So, but if it did happen, would you be willing to say the Earth is not flat? Because I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, not really.
Let me tell you why. Go ahead.
There's too many other things that prove that it is flat.
Well, I'm with you, but how did that happen? Let me tell you how it could have happened. All right. So they go from here to there. They make it in 7 hours. They're not going that fast. How could they have gone 70 some odd hours in 7 hours or 10 hours, whatever it was, right? And the answer is because it could be like this. Maybe we have an Antarctic base here, and we have another base here. This is why these guys never come to visit those guys. And there's another Antarctic base here. How would you know that they're not even connected? So they can go here, and they could fly around, and they just went around this continent. So the only way to make it work is after they get here, they fly to Australia in like 4, 5, 6 hours, because it would take 80 hours to get to the other side, to get back. So my answer is they would have to go from the base over here to Australia, and that is impossible because the Earth is flat. So that the other answer is there could be separate continents. And so going around it doesn't prove one or the other. But finishing the experiment from Antarctica to Australia would prove that this is bullshit, and it's not going to happen. The problem is the Earth is flat. This flight can't even happen because you can't fly 70 friggin' hours without refueling, right? And so it's not going to happen, but there's an experiment. God made it so it's not really easy to prove, but this would prove it. And if the Earth is a globe, that flight could be made easily.
Yeah. And especially crossing over the South Pole. If you go from Chile to Australia over the South Pole, the debate is over. The reference point is a physical reference, not something in the sky. We don't want to deny, okay, but just because it's in the sky, we're not going to take it into consideration. We all have to understand that a real model should include the luminaries. I am one of the biggest guys who want to say always that they should include the luminaries. That's why with the Antikythera mechanism, because a land or a map can be different variations and can be put in any way. And these people can put it around a ball, right? But they cannot really show in real time with all the luminaries, right? And our model, okay, we don't agree or have to agree with AE. Some people agree with AE map, Gleason, or whatever, but it's just a map, right? A flat map. What completes the model is the luminaries above, together working in perfection. That's what a real model should include, right? I think it's secondary. What is the maps? Yeah.
I think one of the problems with, and this is coming from a guy who's trying to model all around, I think one of the problems is creating a model. And I say that because we have a globe cartoon model, So, we could create just about any kind of flat earth model we make and make an animation to where it supposedly works like the globe is done. What I agree with you on is showing how the luminaries do work in that model, but not only showing how they work, showing the fine details of how they work within the model. And if you can match those fine details to our real world observations inside of a model, then you're doing something. And I feel like that's what I've really been gifted in is figuring out how to do that and to demonstrate that. I've got a long way to go to get it to where I can do it all at once. But as of right now, I can take the model that I have under a couple of different maps, whether it's the moon map or the AE map or different maps, and get things to work with the luminaries based off of electric and electromagnetic toroidal field inside of a dome that's either creating a dome structure or is inside of one. So I think models are great for conceptualizing, hey, this is how it can happen. This is an answer for how it is happening or can happen within the assumptions of our model. But I also think if we produce a finalized model, then we're kind of back in the globe situation where there's this mainstream push to tell everybody one way is it, when really what we know is the floor is flat. The lights are doing things that we don't exactly understand, but we can understand their relation to Polaris above us.
Exactly. Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. Before we continue this awesome chat, I just want to say to the people in the chat, if you're first time here, do hit that like and subscribe button. And before, also wanted to say hello to Keith Cameron Smith. How are you, Keith, brother? Are you still there? You're muted.
He's out
I
of the
think.
picture. He's out.
All right. So yeah, and also other thing I wanted to mention in the chat that we will see if we have time to ask question to our guests, because we have a lot of things more to discuss and show, but I don't know if we would be able to get in all. So I wanted to ask, did the community, flat earth community, really look into if there are 24-hour sun in Antarctica videos, apart from what we have seen a couple of them? Have anybody really researched into it?
I personally have gone through and looked at a lot of the videos from this Anthony something, I forget his name at the moment, who's apparently the guy behind all this. Anthony Powell, I believe that's his name.
Anthony Powell.
And I've watched a lot of his videos. Even if they're real, which there's I think Dave and Jaron have both shown some cloud formations that are obviously the same in the beginning as at the end, and some weird stuff. But you watch the sun, like there's something different about it, because little bitty light posts will completely hide the sun in those videos. And I've got pictures out here in my front yard where the sun is beaming through thick trees like they're nothing. And so that, to me, I find really odd in those videos.
Maybe he's filming an artificial sun. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you remember when they told us if the Earth temperature raises by 1 to 2 degrees, we're all going to be dead because the whole world will be underwater, right?
Yeah. You remember when they told us that our mom's hairspray was destroying the ozone layer?
Wait a minute, that's not true. So what about that story? And I looked into it a bunch, and when Jaron heard it on his show, he immediately said, "Oh, that's bullshit." But then he looked it up live on the show. He's like, "Whoa, hold on. Antarctica has risen by 50 degrees in the last couple years. 50. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean the story's bullshit? Or it did rise by 50 degrees? Why would it rise by 50 degrees? Maybe they're experimenting with an artificial sun. I don't know.
I have a possible natural phenomena explanation for that.
Go for it.
Where are they measuring the temperature, first of all?
Yeah.
Are they doing it all the way around, or is this coming from a central location like Union Glacier Base Camp? So let's say,
I don't know. I don't have enough information on it. Maybe the story is nonsense, but Admiral Byrd said he found warmer lands when he went farther south. So who knows?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if it is just like, if that measurement of 50-degree increase is coming from a localized area, Personally, I think the moon map is one of the most viable theories based on the observations of the luminaries. So if that's the case, and our livable realm is moving around the larger realm, then it would make sense that portions of Antarctica are getting hotter and other portions are getting colder, because you would have sections of the ice wall melting off and you would have sections of it growing as that slow rotation of magnetic north goes around the geographic north, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It's all interesting for sure.
So I wanted to share this. I don't know if you guys have seen. This is supposed to be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica in Australia, Mawson Station. I don't know if it's true, if it's real, but this is what the data is showing. I'm going to put it on full screen. Yep. Have anybody else looked into this, that there are people saying there is possibilities of being a 24-hour sun? And as we continue, we will see a video. Yeah. This is from Mawson Station, Antarctica, from Australia, right? This is at 5 a.m. Have anybody have seen this video before?
Yeah, this is one of Anthony Powell's videos, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, I
Let's
don't
see
know
it.
if it's from
Let's see it.
Anthony. So yes, it's at 5 p.m.
He's the only
Yeah.
one showing other 24-hour suns other than the ones that we've already shown to be fake. I haven't seen them by anybody else.
So yeah, these ones are supposed to be. Yeah, these ones are supposed to be from YouTube. No, not from a channel, but from the Antarctica stream people, right? I don't know if this is manipulated or edited. Doesn't look like, but here you can see the shadow. All right, let's see that. Keep an eye on your left corner, and you see how the shadow is moving. All right. We will now. The sun is gonna come. All righty. So right now it's in the front, the sun, right? And you have to keep an eye on the shadow on the left corner, and on the clock on the left. It's 5 a.m. and you have this shadow, and the sun is gonna go on the left, go behind, and come to your right. And you have to keep an eye on the shadow.
Is the sun supposedly going around our heads here?
It's
Yeah.
stalled out.
Where's
It's
the
buffering.
shadow?
Keep an eye on the
Stop.
left. Wait, just a minute. It's stuck, I think, the video, or what? Why is it not?
Yeah,
Is it
Right.
playing? Yeah.
yeah, the video's stuck.
And to think
Oh
that,
yeah.
that they can't fake shadows is pretty limited thinking, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, but let's have. I think we should analyze whatever is there, and this is not from a channel of a YouTuber or a flat earther or a glober. This
Yeah.
is from a It's supposed to be from the Australian. Yeah.
If the sun looked
Okay.
like that big fuzzy
I'm
non-sharp
gonna add it
sun,
again. I'm gonna add again. Just
What-
keep going, guys. Keep going.
what do you? I mean, if the sun looked like that the whole time, do you think that it's a bust the entire trip?
I mean, it's hard to tell from one video camera when you don't know what camera's being used. If it doesn't look like he's using any kind of filter. What his exposure rate would be, what his frame rate would be. Like, there's so many variables there. It would be hard to judge just based on that glare that you're getting of the light source in that particular video.
Oh yeah, so I don't know why it's not freaking letting me play the video now. It's getting stuck and it's not letting me play. So in that video, you can literally see the shadow going all the way. The sun is coming up from your front and going all the way from behind you, coming to your right, and then it looks like it sets a bit. Hey, what's up, Keith?
Hey guys, how are you? I've got bad signal here. I think we're still having hurricane repair issues around. Doing good. I've been listening though. How you doing, Joe? Thank you for all your
Good,
work.
man. I appreciate you, bud. You make it through this disaster okay?
Yeah, we weathered it pretty well. Some of our neighbors not so much, but personally we're okay.
Yeah, I was fortunate with Helene. A lot of my neighbors not so much.
Yeah, that was crazy. Still is crazy. Anyway, hey, I want to say this in case I get cut off with a signal that one of the deals
Yeah.
with the stars and the star trails, and I've been saying this so many times lately, is that they clearly prove only one motion. And I think all of us as flat earthers need to bring that up more. On the blue ball religion, you've got the rotating and the revolving and the vortexing all at the same time at crazy, stupid speeds. And yet the night stars are always moving in perfect unison, only showing one motion. If the earth were a globe and if it were only rotating, then maybe we would see what we see with the night sky. But the fact that we only see one motion in the night sky tells me the earth is stationary and it's the sky that's moving over us, as we learn from the Antikythera mechanism, in perfect repeating patterns. So it's just a point to make for anybody listening, that anytime any globe brings up the Sigma Octantis or any of the stars, bring up the star trails, that they only prove clearly one motion only. And the blue ball religion claims at least three motions, more like 4 or 5, but we can just stop with 3 of the motions that they claim, because it's pure insanity. They cannot create a perfect repeating night sky with 3 different motions. So that's all.
Yeah. And not only that, like we measure the stars based on elevation angles to Polaris. So you have to get an elevation angle, you have to have a horizontal plane of reference. So every measurement that we do to any star is based off of a horizontal plane of reference. That's it. So to try to say that somehow stars, the lights in the ceiling, prove that the floor is curved beneath our feet is ignorant, because to triangulate to get the elevation angle, we have to assume a flat baseline, a horizontal plane of reference.
I think the thing is, and I've brought this up so many times in the past, is that the whole problem with this experiment is that it's trying to assume that flat Earth hasn't already been proven. And all of us know it's been proven thousands and thousands of times. The globe has been debunked thousands of times. But when we give too much attention to this final experiment, tonight's first time I ever brought it up in a month at least, ever since I put out my last video. I just think it's a waste, for me anyway. For Dave, for you, it's different. You're fighting the battle on the front lines, I guess. But for me, it's a waste of time to bring Will up, because he's trying to something
Keith, you're roboting.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Yeah,
Keith,
you're breaking up, brother.
You're breaking up. I don't really like bringing it up at all, because people can't see through this Will Duffy guy with his financial situation. He's paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. He has another $500,000 in fines, and he just wants to settle this. He already knows, he's already admitted that it's not going to settle it. Why is he doing this? Why isn't he building his church up, his piece of crap church, right? That needs a ton of work. Why is he spending this money and to shut down flat Earth? It's disingenuous. It's evil. And when he quoted me, said that at the beginning that the reason I'm not going is because I don't like working with demons. That's right. I don't.
Well, I just don't think. I think you're right, Dave, that somebody else is propping him up. I think he's a puppet. Now, that's just my belief. That's just my opinion. I can't prove that. But yeah, why would he be doing this, spending his own money, unless in my opinion, unless he's trying to make money and has figured out some kind of a scam or hoax behind it to try to get paid off of this? Unless someone already said, hey, we need a front man. We will pay you X amount of dollars to promote this for us, so that we can do another documentary, another hit piece on flat Earth, or whatever it may be. I mean, time will tell. A few more months and we will know very clearly what the motives are behind this. And Joe, I'm with you. I'm hoping that we get some really good footage and evidence, because it can only be good for the truth.
Can I just not to beat a dead horse, but I like beating a dead horse. Can I share just Will's FINRA record? What's going on with him? Just for people that don't know.
Yeah, brother, go ahead. Go ahead.
I clicked it. Am I sharing right now?
I don't see it.
I don't see it. That's why I'm having issue
hold on.
presenting. I don't let me even show my video. I
Hold
was
on.
showing. I was in the
selected
middle
the
of.
window. Choose to share StreamYard. I've got it shared, but it doesn't show me how to share it, how to finish it.
It doesn't show me up here. It's doing strange thing. It's not letting me present my video presentation that I had few videos here lined up to show tonight to discuss, and it's crazy.
Oh,
It's
here
not letting me.
I got it. Here's the share. All right, so you guys can see that,
Oh
right? Yeah. So this is Will Duffy. You can go to finra.org or brokercheck.finra.org. And if you click on these 5 disclosures on in 2021, he settled for he paid $10,000 out of his own pocket, right? In 2022, he paid $218,000 out of his own pocket, right? $250,000. And then in June or April of this year, he's got another one. It's pending. We don't know how much that one's going to be, but in June, he's got $135,000 that's pending. And then also in June, a couple days later, $360,000. That's $500,000 more. Now his excuse was that it doesn't matter. This is just an ambulance chasing lawyer going after one bad investment, and that's not the case. But even if it was the case, he still has to pay it. Wouldn't you be focused on just solving your financial problem? Now, I've been in this conspiracy, thing for a while, and I know how crisis actors work, and I know what they do. They get people that are in financial trouble, people that are in trouble with the law, and they make deals with them. They say, hey, you're going to do this thing, you're going to avoid jail, you're going to avoid bankruptcy, and and then you're going to be taken care of for the rest of your life or whatever. And that's what I think. I think he's going to have his payday where he's going to go around getting speaking engagements at universities to talk to people. You get $100,000 speaking here, whatever. I think that's where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it this way too. He set himself up perfectly because it's a win-win situation for him to profit off of. If there's a 24-hour sun, then he profits on all the Globers getting off on saying flat Earth is stupid, and he gets a book deal and shows and all that. If it sets, he wins because then he can just become a flat earther and get book deals and go on shows and do all that and make money. So he's set up really well.
But you have this is not him.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying either way, it's a win-win situation for him.
Yeah.
And what I think really exposed him recently was when he came out with this video that he was taken by a flat earther for the golden ticket. I mean, come on, dude. Really? That's the most lame thing I've ever heard. And for you to get taken in a situation like that just proves how inept you are intellectually, which he's already proven. So yeah, I mean, he's just
the guy's been studying.
Guys, before we continue, I think this is a religious war, right? You guys remember the pastor debate? Somebody offering to go to Antarctica.
Yeah, Greg Locke and Dean Odle, we were there.
About some rancher ready to pay for 2 guys.
You were there, Joe?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, I didn't meet you.
I actually met Dave there. That's the first time I ever met Dave. I gave him a moon map when I was there.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't meet you though. I met Dave. I met Keith.
Yeah, I met Keith there.
Good to meet you.
Yeah,
a lot of people there. It was a great turnout.
Yeah, it was. It was a good one.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time, bro.
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing a Truth and Freedom conference in Washington D.C. This coming year, so we'll see how that goes.
Before the end of the year?
No, I think he's planning. I think Alex is planning it for June or July of next year in Washington D.C.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, have you guys seen the Simon, Dan, and Will Duffy's last on his channel?
God,
they are so
two of them together. I can't imagine.
Yeah, they are so convinced that Jaren is going to become a Glober.
Yeah,
tell you what,
that's their story.
I wouldn't want to be either one of those guys. It's gonna
Yeah.
be
I
a
think
mess
that's
to come back to.
I think
You
that's
know?
part of the reason Jaren's taken such a hit is because they keep speaking for him, and it's like for whatever reason people are buying into what they're saying Jaren believes. And I've talked to Jaren. I know Dave talks to Jaren. I don't get that feeling from him. I get the feeling that
No.
he's after truth, that he's admitting what he's always said, and he's just going down there to look and find out for himself what's actually happening.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. The thing is, the video I wanted to show, I don't know why the hell it's not letting me present and show the video for screen share. I don't know why. But the video shows that shadow going almost 315 degrees. There's only 3 hour span in that video time lapse that the sun goes below that observable line because there's a mountain range, right? 315 degrees, which is not very far from 360 degrees, right? And in the start of the video, it was showing some graphics with the sun and everything, and it's showing that in different time zones around those, you can see different, but the same thing, the sun going in the circle almost for 315 degrees. So there's a 3 hour gap in that video. I don't know if this video is real, doesn't look like it's indoctrinated, but it's from a website from Antarctica streams. There are many other time lapse and different things, but 24 hours are very few. But the interesting part in this video is that you can follow the shadow and you can follow the watch on the right? And you can see the sun coming from the front, going all the way behind, coming on your right. And it's only for 3 hours in those 24 hours that the sun is not visible, but the light is there. The sunlight is the you can see it's not getting dark, but there's some movement there. Even though that the sun is not there, the lighting doesn't change, right? So I wanted to show this so that the people we could discuss about that. Is this could be possible? As we were speaking with Joe also, right? So these phenomena, this is from Australia, Mawson Station, Antarctica. It's in the southern hemisphere, right? It's not the Antarctica. I don't know which part of Antarctica these people are going. Maybe they're going through Chile, but it's in the southern part. So this individual phenomena, this optical phenomena on any part of the southern parts could be happening because there are video. I don't know how if Jaren or Austin or anybody else or any other flat earther look into this and try to understand that if it is doctored footage or if it's real footage, and if there's a possibility of real footage, there's only 3 hours of sun missing in that whole time lapse, and it doesn't look doctored. The site is YouTube Antarctica streams and look for 24-hour sun, because I never saw any flat earthers examining these videos and examining this shadow, right? If there's a 3 hour gap, this could be just for the perspective of this camera. That's why this 3 hour gap.
I guess all our measurements of the Earth are debunked by shadow movements, huh?
All of a
Sticks and
sudden.
shadows, man. Sticks and
No,
shadows.
I'm not saying it's
No,
true.
I know.
No,
I
I'm not
just,
saying it's true, Dave.
Dave,
But
yeah.
what I'm saying is that we have to take in consideration everything, right?
No, I
We have
agree.
to take it.
Somebody asked, why is the community getting so upset at Jaren and Austin? And it's because the Globers are misrepresenting, mostly misrepresenting. Let me just share this 30-second clip of Simon Dan. I know that it's horrible. Can you guys see the Simon Dan video?
He's
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I have to share with sound. Hold on. Do I have to say share with sound? Share screen. And do I have to say share with sound?
Yep.
Or no?
Yeah,
Where's the share?
or
Where's
just
the
share
share
it.
with? Just share
If
it.
it doesn't have the option, just share it. Maybe it has.
Share audio, a tab instead. Wait a minute, hold on. I guess I'll try. Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that or no? No.
No.
All right. Let me figure it out. Stop sharing. All right, go. Let me figure it. Keep going. I'll try again.
So one thing I
Alright.
would say about the shadows is, it really that shadow movement to me proves the sun's moving, not the Earth, because it's a sundial. Any shadow like that is a sundial. And
Exactly.
that is showing that the sun is moving and not the dial itself. What's interesting though is they tell you to have a proper sundial, that you need to have it tilted to your degree of latitude.
They're all going down to
Oops.
Yeah. Guy, I guess we have it.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Joe. Finish, Joe, and then I'll play this.
Oh, they tell you to have a proper sundial. You either have to have the base of the sundial tilted to your degree of latitude if you're that far south. So you would have the base of your sundial tilted towards south, due south, at whatever degree of latitude. So if you're at 80 degrees, you're going to tilt the base to 80 degrees. Now, if you have a tilted base, then you have a vertical gnomon. So your gnomon in the center of your sundial would be vertical. Now, if you have a flat base, then your gnomon needs to be tilted to 80 degrees. That's how they tell you a proper sundial should work. Well, in those shadows, all you have is a horizontal surface and a horizontal gnomon, and it's still working. So that to me just says that it's more proof that the sun is what's moving and not the floor, and it's a horizontal plane of reference.
All right, here's what Simon Dan said the other day.
So that's a lot of them. They're all going down to Antarctica in December to witness the 24-hour sun, and then there can be no doubt that the Earth is a globe to those particular flat earthers. Because of course, to the flat earthers that subscribe to the model of the sun going over the disk, there can be no 24-hour sun. It's not a possibility on a flat Earth model, and both Jaron and Whitsitt have both said that.
Now that's not true.
It's not true.
But that's what he's going with.
Yeah, that's what I was saying a minute ago, is one of the reasons they're taking such a hit is because they're being misrepresented by these globe zealots.
Yep.
Just like they always do.
Yeah, that's what they're disingenuous, right? And a thing that, the globe lie does is it literally hides who we are. It hides our extra senses, our importance, what our minds do. And let me tell you something. I'm pretty in tune. I can see through bullshit. I can see evil. All right. And I see right through these guys. I literally see right through them. I don't like saying their names, but the head, anti-flat earthers, I can see through them. And I trust my senses more than their bullshit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but we are trying to just see that what are the possibilities, because we have been already, like, in a way, the community's been like, hit pieces, right? We know the globe is always going to give a hit piece. If they cannot make it, you have to fake it. Like, and we are here discussing, are they going to fake it, or is it possible, right? So we are trying to understand if it's really possible, right? This whole conversation of tonight chat was all about, is it possible on a flat earth? And if there are possibilities of having a 24-hour sun on flat earth, does it right? Are the people open for it? Because I think we are limiting ourselves in this ice wall, and this is our world, and everything we want to understand. This is our universe in a way, right? For majority of flat earthers, but the research of flat earth is gone much more beyond than just the ice wall, right?
I agree.
Including the extra lands and the possibilities of what could be beyond, right? So that is the reason people are getting upset, because some people are not ready to see outside this ice wall and whatever is happening above. Here with today's conversation, that's why we're having also Joe, that we can understand why is it also possible. There are a couple of videos I wanted to share, but I cannot because it's not letting me present. Let's see if I can pass you the link, Dave, so maybe we can at least see that video through you till we talk. But
Put it in the chat. Put it the stream.
yeah, but I
chat.
have to find it on my Facebook, right? It's or on my YouTube, or also on my YouTube. It's possible. So that is the whole thing for this chat, that we want to understand, right? I think
Yeah.
also that it's possible, there might be possibilities of having a 24-hour sun. That is the reason also I was showing this video. So this whole video, we're not only seeing a shadow, but we're also seeing that sun for 315 degrees, right? So there is something that it's showing that there might be a possible, right? The optics are saying things, right? The model of Joe saying also things, and there are the ancients have lesser symbols and signs, right? So there are symbols and signs which show that it's possible. Have you guys seen the mechanical ram, right? The gears, the gears above, right? If we are seeing this main gear, the main plate moving around, and this reflection could be moving in different direction in its own way, right? So it's a possibility, right? So it's not that, it's not possible on flat earth, so they're going to fake it. There could be a mix. There could be maybe 20-hour 22-hour sun, and maybe 2 hours they have to do something, or maybe at a perspective you don't have to do anything, and you might be able to see the light phenomena, right? It's not only about because if you're having a light all the 24 hours with some kind of uh, a focal length moving around, even if you can't see it clearly, people are going to see, yeah, that's the 24-hour sun. The thing is that these people are literally too overconfident with all this is happening. The way these people are making this, building these up, they look like they're in for to do some damage. What I'm saying is that we have to be careful. We have to look in things. We have to be open. First of all, we might have different opinions about whatever, right? I don't agree that flat earthers says that the rainbow is because of the dome. I don't agree that the flat earthers say the sky is blue because of the oceans above. But we're not going and debating these people. We have our own opinion, right? Yep. So the same way, we have to be open for what could be possibility. The earth doesn't turn into a globe if we are going to see, right? Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to just say that Will Duffy, the mastermind behind this, when other people are showing him physical measurements of the Earth, proofs, lasers. I think Austin was showing him the microwaves and the measurement on a frozen pond and everything. And he goes, oh, well, I don't know about those things. And he just hand waved them off. I don't know about those things. Final experiment. We're looking at the sun, and that's going to prove it. So he literally disingenuously ignores all of the physical measurements of Earth. And then he says the movement of the sun, which is an impossible thing anyway, is going to determine, is the final answer. That right there is end of anyone trusting that guy for anything. The fact that he is that disingenuous just makes him not a good man.
He literally told me in our discussion that I was straw manning the globe belief by saying that they always claim that the lights in the ceiling are going to determine the curvature beneath us. And then he says that's a straw man in the midst of a discussion that is claiming that something a light in the ceiling does is going to determine the curvature of the floor. So he said I was straw manning him about what they believe while he's arguing exactly what I was saying he's arguing. He's so inept to this whole thing, it's not even funny. And not only did he misrepresent his own side there, he just made false claims back to back to back and went off in these weird tangents about like the Titanic, and it's just what Globers do. They can't stick to anything. They just have to keep moving and bouncing around and being disingenuous and dishonest and not approaching it intellectually honestly. I mean, it's very weird.
Right, John. And what they disregard is really great, because they disregard everything we say to them.
Joe, I watched
no answers for us.
Joe, I watched the interview as much as I could with you and Will, and I honestly couldn't watch more than 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, he's an obvious troll or a shill. He came up with all the typical questions. Well, what would it take for you to agree the earth is flat? Well, wouldn't you agree? And it's all the same old typical troll questions and comments. And he tried to dictate the conversation by asking you would make a point and he'd ask a question totally irrelevant to the point you just made. So I personally think we have got to stop giving much credit or attention to any of these low-level shills. I mean, if somebody real rich and famous like Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody else wants to talk to us, fine, let's talk to them. But these low-level YouTube online shills, I just feel like we're wasting our time with them.
Supposedly NDT is going to be there, from what I understand. Supposedly Neil deGrasse Tyson's going to be down there, and Elon Musk is planning some sort of Starlink flyby or some rumors that I'm hearing. Who knows?
So Elon's flying by the Will Shatner, the big guy, the fat guy going into space. He's going to be there, and then Blue Origin or someone is flying, or SpaceX is flying over Antarctica, right? And then there's that Netflix series coming out. This is just like a whole bunch of headlines. And what do the NPCs of this world do? They just read headlines. They don't look at any information. They just look at headlines, and that's how they control them, with headlines.
That's true.
Is that, hey, Vikka, is that video that you put in the chat what you want to show?
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes. You want me to play the whole thing?
Yeah, it's a quick, but there's a lot to discuss there. Yeah.
All right, I'll share it right now.
Joe, guys are looking for your YouTube link to check out your videos, Joe. If you want to put it in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, y'all will probably have to do that because I'm not set up.
God creates the earth.
Okay. I was never planning on having any sort of following or being a content creator. So this is me on my cell phone right now. But yeah, I mean, if you want to post the link to my YouTube, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Cool. I'll be right back.
Let's check this out.
All right, here we go.
The universe, okay? But it's the same. Everything comes out of the creation hole, or the black hole. Now, what is this? This is a planetary gear here at the top.
I've seen this video.
If you want me to stop it, I'll just scream stop.
Yeah. Stop here. Yeah, so I tagged you both in this video before, also on Facebook. So here it's showing the central disk with the gears in the middle and with the other gears, how it's possible, right? Let's play.
Bigger. This is how the star patterns are working at the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, okay? This is the center, this is the northern hemisphere. And this here, everywhere else, is the southern hemisphere. And here, the gap between those two is where the Orion belt is visible. Okay? So you got the northern hemisphere, one rotation to one direction, and the southern hemisphere, everywhere else, you got an anti-rotation to the other rotation, okay? This is because everything inside here is just like a spiral, a vortex of creation like this here. Everything inside here, this vortex, is 3D, but it is projected like a plasma television to the top as a two-dimensional plate. Okay, so everything, the planets, are telling you, wandering stars, doesn't matter. Everything which you are seeing at the sky is created inside this vortex, but it is projected as a two-dimensional plate above. And this plate is parabolic, mirrored, and flipped upside down everywhere else to the south. Okay? Like here. Everywhere else, this here, is mirrored and parabolic, reflected to the south. Okay? So Polaris in the center is Sigma Octantis, everywhere else in the south. And the same star patterns are visible here in the south, but stretched, flipped upside down, and you're looking here from the top to the bottom and here from the bottom to the top. upside down. So you won't see the exact same patterns here and here. This is a vision from the side. From the side. If you would cut everything right through this here, this is from the side. I didn't paint it the bottom side. Summerland. Doesn't matter. So you can see this here. This is the center, north. Here is the plane. And this here is electromagnetic like a donut. This here. This is it. Okay, so here you got the north, the center. This is a Capricorn, this is a Cancer. And here everywhere else is the south. And here, this is the vortex of creation, spiraling out like a snake. That's where you can see this here, right here, snake, the snake's tongue, because it is spiraling out like a snake. Because the snake, the sun sits at the horizon, it's spiraling out, and this looks like a snake. Snake's tongue, now I understand why there are so many snakes. This is another vision, but you don't got that in the middle, the hole you don't got. But this is how this is work on the sun. And the sun is moving between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And it's spiraling like a snake. Everything comes out from the inside, from the north, from the center. The center is the most important thing. Everything. So I hope you can understand this a little bit better. Everything is created out of frequency. Everything is inside this vortex of creation, but it is projected as a two-dimensional plate above here. This is just a plate. It's just a universal plate just seeing above. If you're looking, take a telescope, and you're looking here at the stars above our heads. And you're zooming in, just looking what's going inside this here. Okay, so if you're looking here or here, you just take a look what's going to happen inside this vortex of creation. This is 3D, this is 2D.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually agree with a lot of what he's saying there, and a lot of what he's saying is how light is working inside of a toroidal celestial dome field. So yeah, he's not all like, I disagree with some of the things, but overall, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so I tagged you both on this video maybe a month ago because I wanted you all to have a look, because the other video I wanted to show about the 24-hour sun, because here he's speaking about star trails, but in the stars are all the luminaries. So everything should be projected, right? Everywhere else. And the other video about the 24-hour sun with the data with that Moss-on station, I wanted to show because it was showing the animation exactly with the sun doing the same thing in different parts, in different time zones. It's not like the same sun is being seen there, but it's like almost having their own individual apparent sun,
Which
right?
everybody already, like even the globe admits that. Both sides admit that the sun is always apparent to the viewer, period. Like that's not debated on either side.
Hey, maybe this is all a psyop to stop us from looking at the north.
Yeah, I've been saying for years now that we need to be able to freely travel the Arctic North, the geographic North, and Antarctica, which the geographic North and Antarctica would kind of come into play in the same sense, technically. But we need to be able to freely explore, take equipment to have scientific studies that are independent and free for anybody to do if they can afford to go do it. At any time for any length of period of time, because it's going to take a lot of time to do these observations and documentations properly with the right equipment. So we need access to those three areas all the time.
You know, Google doesn't even show land in the north anymore.
Yep.
It's all water.
Yeah, well, apparently it's the magnetic north is like kind of an ice patch in the water moving around geographic north, or well, they don't say that, but they just say that our magnetic north is shifting with time, so it's not a constant locale.
Is that fast?
No, it's moving really slow, but they do admit that it's moving, which I think actually fits the moon map theory better than any other theory. So personally,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because if we don't all have to believe in the moon map theory, but it's a whole rabbit hole in itself. But the astronomical clock from Prague is trying to show the same thing, right? That's why I'm saying that the people in the community is so limited to the ice wall and just the things we see or we can understand. So the research of flat Earth is gone beyond these extra lands and what could be happening in the sky,
yeah,
right?
that's like
So
one of the beauties of being a flat earther is that we have all this room to expand. The globe can't do that. They've set very specific parameters, and if any of those parameters get violated, which they already have, I mean, we've already falsified the radius, water maintains its level, gas pressure in a vacuum, like all this silly stuff. They make these claims of specificity, and we don't have to do that. We can say we don't know, but this is how we think it could work, and we could have 15 different theories on how it could work. And that's the beauty of flat earth, is we're not put in that box. We're able to constantly grow and make new discoveries, whereas if you're in that globe mentality, you're trapped on the farm.
exactly. And you guys have heard about that clock, and it's possible that the how do you say the pole shift could happen on these planes, and that during every 2,000 years, this whole physical or this dome or something, this barrier is moving, and it's every 2,000 years, and that could be shown on the Prague astronomical clock. That this precision of timing, right? Have you guys heard about that? Right?
Yeah, it's called the Great Year Cycle. So you have
Exactly.
they call it, I think it's 25,000 some odd years, but
26,000, I think, something like
yeah,
that.
we can simplify it to 26,000 and 2,000 year cycles, where the sun, where the North Pole is moving like so many degrees every 2,000 years, and then it completes that 360-degree movement around geographic north every 26,000 years. But for them, it's just an axial tilt thing in the heliocentric model that they say accounts for this great year period. It makes way more sense on a flat Earth with a moving magnetic north than it does on a spinning pear-shaped water ball.
Exactly, and it shows, right? It shows the possibility of this timekeeping. So there are research which is going deeper in this kind of thing, right? And it shows that the real chronologist, the I don't know, I don't want to use the word of the right, the ancient Hebrew chronologist, time making watches, they have this information because it's the real cosmology of this earth, right? So there are research which indicates that they understand the whole realm, how it works. That's why this astronomical clock, that's why the Antikythera mechanism, that's why these gears, what we saw in this video, have these kind of symbols in the ancient text showing this phenomena happening. But this all is too much right now for this community to understand, because the people are so mixed up with what is happening because of their present understanding of what this world is through a limited perspective. So we're not trying to say and show that there is a possibility of having a 24-hour sun or no. We are just showing it out to the people so that people can try to understand and help everyone else to understand what is really happening with this. And is it really possible?
Yeah, I would say one piece of advice I would give to all flat earthers is allow yourself to have a hard drive wipe and start fresh, start clean, and just open yourself up to say, hey, I don't know anything other than what I've been told my whole life. Let me go out and try to figure this out for myself. And you just let everything start from a clean slate and grow from there. And things get a lot easier than trying to continue to hold, even for believers, non-believers, whatever, to try to hold on to these preconceived biases that were programmed into you is really holding us back. So it's best to just do a hard drive wipe in a sense and start fresh and learn from there, and keep a completely open mind to all kinds of possibilities.
Absolutely, Joe. You know, we know that, you know, we were able to break those chains and have the courage and the curiosity to go through that wall that they presented for us. So, and you know, the conditioning is really deep. You know, we're so surrounded by psyop after psyop and lie after lie, and now, you know, people are starting to understand. You know, they have a lot of more different ways that they're understanding this world, and the more that they show us, the more momentum we're going to gain.
Yeah, the truth is on our side, man. That's the beauty of it.
That's right. You know, a lot of people have been questioning this little things from the narrative since they're little kids also, you know. I think a lot of us have. And, you know, when that, you know, that little weird thing you've been thinking about your whole life starts to be talking about from other people, you're like, hey, wait a second. And then that'll lead other people into other stories, you know. There's a lot going on around here nowadays. There's so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the flat Earth movement, whatever people want to call it, movement, whatever, it can't be denied anymore. It has grown, and it's growing exponentially at this rate. I mean, the amount of people that are coming to the truth of flat Earth, or that are questioning it now, I think the last I checked, calculations were close to 700 million people worldwide. I mean, that's huge.
And they have to do huge things to stop it, brother. And this is what they're doing with the final experiment.
Right.
Looks like, right? Huge thing needs like a huge impact thing to destable, right? This fire that it cannot be stopped. Another example I wanted to give, right? This is the thing with the for example, I don't know if I mentioned here, but about the eclipses on the Monte Urbano map. I was on Jaron's speaker corner explaining about the Monte Urbano map and the eclipses, right? And these have been all our life in front of us, but nobody stopped and looked it with a magnifying glass that is showing on the corners of the Monte Urbano map that the eclipses are happening. Also, the reason because of Venus and Mercury, right? These might be the inner sun, which is really eclipsing and not the moon, right? There is a possibility, but it was right there. I was on Jaron channel, and then I explained that, and then a guy after me jumped in, and they continued the talk, and they looked back into stellarium, and they could see every eclipse there was Venus and Mercury present. So like this, there are a lot of information the ancients have left us through charts, through maps, through symbols, through designs, through machines, through array, like, right? So the same thing about the gears, the symbols is there if you really want to look in deep, right? So as you guys say, we have to be open, because this realm is really vast, right? We know we have a lot of difference of opinion because it's community huge. We cannot agree on everything, but right, there are things, it's not possible, but the time is not come for the majority of the community to understand that, because it's just there trying to get out of that, because Dave, how many people are against the extra lands, right?
How many people are against it? There's a lot of people against it.
They butt heads with that
even
one,
flat
right?
earthers,
No, but I'm okay with that. Listen, you can be against it. There's people
exactly.
There's people that I communicate with. There's like they say there's definitely no more land. I think that's a false statement. But
look at the
I think
Pacific
there's more land.
Ocean.
I think there's more land.
The Pacific Ocean is half the globe.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's very possible that Lemuria or Meru or all these different. The Pacific Ocean looks like something's missing to me, and there are these no-fly zones, and these you see ships just go out to the middle of the Pacific Ocean and kind of stop and then come back, like if you track them.
Yeah,
there's
middle of Antarctica.
Yeah, like
500 miles off the coastline.
but that's okay. We can speculate all we want. We just need free and open access to explore. The Earth
Absolutely.
is still flat, whether there's more land.
That's right.
Yeah, I think you muted yourself at there.
Yeah, I
at the
did.
end.
I realized. Hey, a different topic. I just want to throw out. You guys have seen the Elon Musk robots, right? The whole robot thing that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my opinion, and I wonder if anyone else agrees with me. It's a total psyop. Now, the robots walking out on the stage, they have this little tiny waist, so there's no way a human can be in there. I think that either if those are real, those are just robots that can walk. That's it. The ones that were bartending and talking to people, they always have a big. Their waists are obscured. They have like an apron on. Those are people. Okay, there's no robots serving drinks to people, right? This is a psyop to get people freaking out. There's this one random video. The guy's like, he's like, yeah, can you give me the peace sign? The robot does the peace sign, and then the robot goes, oh, and I can also do this, and the robot does that, and they're like, oh, cool, right? That's just to freak people out. There's people in those robots. Don't fall for this bullshit. It's total bullshit. And then so many people are falling for it.
Yeah,
Is
this in public or is this in
look up
controlled?
No, it's in a controlled public setting, right?
Yeah.
It's literally a site. I mean, it's like at a fashion show or whatever. And these are all, and then there's a random person filming while the robot's serving them a drink. Bullshit.
No, there'd be thousands of videos of that. People would freak out. They'd have
Even
a ton of
even if it's real, it's
TikToks and everything else of that.
Yeah.
Even if it's real, it's still scary. I mean, they've made a bunch of movies about this. Terminator,
iRobot. It looks exactly like iRobot. It looks exactly like iRobot, right? This is literally just to suck loose energy from people. It's to get people freaking out. They want us freaking out about everything, from the final experiment to the fucking robots to all of this bullshit, right? People need to just fucking not believe this stuff, because like, oh my God, they predicted it, the predictive programming. No, they're making you believe it with predictive programming. It's stupid. Look at it. There's people in those suits. So there you go. There's my rant.
Let me ask you something. Given what the gears did to further technology, what do you think about the Antarctica being, like having some breakaway society that could be more advanced than we could even really imagine?
My opinion that there was a incredible world here, and this is me, not speaking for anybody else. I'm speaking for me. I think when this realm was developed, it was filled with angelic beings here that built these buildings, right? That maybe even built the Antikythera mechanism. That there was literally a world of gods and angels that were here. That's my opinion.
Place, man.
Yeah, like incredible. And then there was something happen. I don't know what, I don't know when, but I don't think it was that long ago. Okay, it wasn't that long ago.
Do you think it's periodic too, though?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a cycle or not. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
I would actually agree with you there, Dave. Maybe a few differences, but yeah, I think we're in the dumb ages.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the movie Idiocracy, literally with President Camacho. I mean, it's crazy.
Hey, guys, this is what they did. They want us to think we're going to be the Jetsons any day, while they turn us into the Flintstones already.
Yeah. I personally believe I believe the ancient cultures had free energy. They were traveling in anti-gravity. Anti-gravity.
Think about this. The creator builds this incredible realm for us, right? And then he just throws us down and goes, here's a loincloth. I hope you find fire soon. No. They throw us in a cave. No, there's some infrastructure here. There was angelic beings, God had an army of angels, whatever it is. Maybe we're just descendants of those angels and we're having this physical experience here. Maybe it was designed for us to have this struggle that we're having. I think that this is the most amazing time ever. I mean, the world is fascinating. All of this. It would be boring as fuck if none of this shit wasn't going on. What would we be doing? What if everything was perfect? I think everything's perfect right now.
Whoa.
Well, it could be awesome, but
are you there? You're frozen. Yeah. Or is it us? You guys hear him?
You guys hear me or no? Yeah, Vikka's frozen.
Yeah, Vikka's
all right,
frozen.
I'm back. All right.
Yeah. All right. All right, so sorry for that rant. There you go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
personally, I'm a biblical cosmologist, so I look at it from a biblical perspective, and I believe the scriptures and I believe in Jesus and all that. But I think what you said, Dave, I think that fits the scriptures
I think
very
so too.
well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have a problem with anything you just said. I know a lot of believers would probably be like, "Oh, you're a heretic" and all this. Well, that's
Why
fine.
would God do that? Why would it? Why is it? Good luck. Hope you figure out what a computer chip is one day. No, this place was a free energy, incredible communication, whatever. It was just an incredible, incredible realm. Something that we're having difficulty imagining. I was just
Yeah, I
watching
believe.
John Levy's video today. He went over star forts all over the world. They're just everywhere. It's like none of it makes any sense with any of the history they tell us.
Yeah, personally, I believe Adam would have had the highest IQ of all mankind. Like,
Sure.
in my opinion. So yeah, I have no problem with that. I think not only was our longevity way greater because the realm was just in a much healthier state, but we were
I think
also super
the
intelligent.
Earth is around 5,000 years old, give or take. That's
Yeah,
me.
I would say roughly 6, 7, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it, give or take. That's in the realm. But that's again, we're allowed to have different ideas. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
allowed to.
And still be friends, and not call each other shields. And,
Oh my god, there's so much. There's so much. People are freaking out. People are just like are literally losing their minds, and
wow.
I just have to ignore it. Just have to ignore it. You try not to get sucked in. So,
wanted to ask you one thing, Dave. In one of your recent interviews, I don't know, somewhere I saw that you were mentioning about possibly visiting the realm beyond, and there might be some technology, right? I don't know. Did you mention something like that? I think so. I heard some of your latest interviews. You mentioned, yeah.
There was somebody that I forget who it was, that interviewed a guy that worked for a chip manufacturer, and he worked like in the chip department, where he said that they're constantly working on making these chips better, smaller, faster, and he says that they just do minor improvements, just tiny improvements, but then all of a sudden there's a demand for a chip that's 4 times faster, and they're like, okay, and then the CEO comes out and goes, here, use this chip, and then they reverse engineer it or whatever, they start mass producing it. But where did that chip come from? To me, there's somebody that has, that's trading, has access to these more advanced civilizations. They're trading computer chips for, I don't know, children. Who the hell knows? So,
oh yeah, they have technology that we can't even imagine that they've hidden from us.
And now, there's these new AI tools out there where you just can create any picture and video. There's like a giraffe stuck on the side of a cliff being lifted with a crane. It looks so real, and it's
people
just
are buying
it. It's all AI.
Yep.
You saw that, Gene? Gene, you saw that one?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look at it that hard. But it's I think they're doing that now because of all the shit that's coming down with Diddy and everything else. That way they can go, oh, it's not really, just get everybody like doubting everything. Everyone thinks that everything's fake. Yeah.
But it's really well polished stuff coming out lately, though. In the past month or so, it's just like, wow.
There's have you seen the podcast maker that you just literally pop in a website, a document, whatever, and say, make a podcast about this. And in 30 seconds, there's a guy and a girl talking about everything about you. It's incredible. It's incredible. Look it up on YouTube. The Deep Dive Podcast. The Deep Dive Podcast. Check it out.
Deep Dive Podcast.
Oh yeah. So we could go on forever with this awesome conversation. For sure, we didn't discuss. We couldn't discuss much more stuff because of the screen sharing stuff. Yeah, we would love to go ahead a lot more. But yeah, anything that we didn't discuss, you guys want to share, or before we slowly start wrapping up?
I'll start with this. Basically, regardless of what goes on with the final experiment, the Earth is flat. Like, now, all the other variables with the lights and the ceilings in the sky, we'll figure that out more and more over time, and especially if we're allowed to freely travel and explore and do actual science in places that we're not allowed to go to. We will discover more about that. But we know water, the physical properties of water determine that it's level. We measure everything off of sea level. All of our elevation is based off of sea level. All of our elevation angles to stars and to which we do celestial navigation is based off of a horizontal plane. Everything we do is based off of a horizontal plane of reference. So we already know the Earth is flat. And yes, flat's a bad word. It's a level, textured, topographical, infinite plane as far as we know. How big it is, we don't know. And I think even for people like myself, biblical cosmologists, the Bible literally tells us we can't measure it. God challenges us. He says, try to measure it, in kind of a laughing tone is how I interpret that. But this thing is so vast and so massive that the only thing we can really know for 100% sure is that the floor is level. And then everything else we can work on in time, and we need to stop fighting each other and calling each other shills and making all these positive claims and getting in arguments to where we are blocking each other and all this because our feelings are hurt because you didn't agree with everything that I said. I mean, that's got to go. We've got to unite, and we need to turn off the TVs and stop listening to all the crap that the media and the TVs are trying to pump into us. That's programming. It's a spell casting box. It's trying to keep us under that spell so that we don't unite together and fight against these powers that are keeping us on our farms. That's just kind of my general take on it all. Is we know the Earth is a level realm. It seems to be a level enclosed realm. And beyond that, we've got a lot to learn, but we know for a fact we're not a wobbling, spinning, corkscrewing, careening through nothingness space pair with, it's just ridiculous.
Amen. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm gonna upload these videos which I couldn't show, and we're gonna continue this chat too. Like, yeah, we all are trying to figure it out. I think also that we shouldn't be scared whatever is the outcome, right?
Exactly.
There could be a possibility of 24-hour sun if there is, even if they fake it or if there's a reality. But it's just taking time and understanding. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
There could be a 24-hour sun, and it does matter, but it doesn't change the shape of the Earth. We want to figure out the sky. We want to figure out this place. But if there's a 24-hour sun, our reaction should be, wow, that's interesting. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no other conclusion other than that is fucking interesting.
Oh yeah, and especially if you have people like Joe, and there are more people who are saying that might be possible, and also with the star trails, right? There are some things that we could look into. It's not that absolutely it's not possible. The people need to come down and see the possibilities that it's
And there could be a 24-hour sun, and it could be completely different than what Joe's thinking.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what it's all about. That all together, trying to connect the dots. No one is right, no one is wrong. We all are trying to understand, but we also have to understand that we don't understand everything doesn't mean it's not possible, right? And there are researchers. The people need to dig in. The people need to relax. And the sky, it's a show, right? It's an LCD. Everything is possible above. And I always trust the ancients. Like you guys know, I'm a gadget guy. Flatten the curve, the mechanical RAM, all hard mechanics, all systems, right? So all this comes from the ancients, and I always look at the ancients for the because all the cosmologies have less of clues of what this could RAM be. Not only this physical RAM plane that we see, what is beyond, maybe if there's extra land, but also vertical, above and below. That's much more beyond, like as many of the cosmologies. So we have to be open because this realm is infinite almost, right? Some say that it's not even our imagination. In our imagination, we can even reach the edge, right? So absolutely awesome show. Dave, last thoughts, brother.
I just want to make a comment to Joe. Joe, you know how when you're trying to film inside your dome, it's hard to get the GoPro in there or the iPhone in there. It's just like there's not enough room. Have you seen those little spy cameras? Those that they
Yeah,
sell? They're like
I've
$100
looked
to
in.
the size of a fingernail. Okay,
Yeah, I started looking into those.
You could put like 10 of them in there.
Yeah, I started looking into those recently. Yeah, I'm
right.
planning on getting an even bigger dome too. Like that one's only 24 inches in diameter, 25 to the outer lip, but I'm planning on getting like a 5 foot, 6 foot dome and getting
We need
a
we need a dome like 25 feet so we can
I'd
go
like to have a walk-in version. Yeah,
a walk-in
cool.
dome. There you go.
Everything is possible, guys. Yeah, slowly,
All right.
like, yeah, if we
All
know.
right.
Yep. Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks,
man.
Dave. Thanks
Enjoyed
for
it, fellas.
joining us.
Thanks. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
right, guys.
thanks, Joe.
See you, Gene. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thanks a lot for showing up, man. I really appreciate
Oh,
you
yeah.
spending your time with us, hanging out. You know, I don't appreciate the cannibalism going on in the community. You know, I'm more like a unity in the community kind of guy, and I'm, you know, yeah, I agree. Don't slow down with calling people things because they said something 10 years ago, or you know, or what Jaron might be thinking, or you know, I wouldn't want to be either one of those guys, you know. And I wish both of them a lot of luck. I think they got a lot of courage to do something like that. They're kind of alone, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is, we all got sucked into this from the beginning. We gave it attention from the beginning,
Right.
which you know, from the first email, I said, "Count me out. Don't ever email me again. I'm not interested." But
Nice.
but the fact that if they didn't go, who would go, and then what would happen? So
Yeah,
at least we know we have two solid guys that are going to get real information, and that are 0.0% chance that they are going to be corrupted or lie. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Right, that's true.
yeah.
I wonder about what their parameters are going to be, what kind of restrictions they're going to have, and what, you know, are they allowed to use any equipment they want? You know,
Supposedly, but they're gonna, you know, if there's like, oh, you can't use night vision, or you can't use this, you know, that's just gonna come out. That's all gonna be documented.
Right.
So,
That's a good point.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm definitely curious about it, and I'm looking forward to the outcome. It could be a happy new year for us, you know. Either way, like, you know, we all been saying the Earth is flat no matter what, and it will be a nice, you know, another new curiosity to look at, because we're not going to figure out all the answers to all the questions that we all have.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be able to measure this place. We can't measure everything in the ocean, everything in the air, everything on the ground. We're not allowed. And if we were allowed, we're probably not going to be able to anyway. These military guys, they probably don't have it all mapped out either.
Yep. It's just I have a problem with disingenuous people, and Will Duffy is one of the most disingenuous globers I've ever met, and that's a big statement, I guess. So
I think they
oh yeah, brother.
Dave.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, Gene, last thoughts, brother.
Yeah, no, it was a great show, and I appreciate everybody coming on and hanging out. It was a great chat. I tried to do a little of both. My audio in the beginning, again, I don't know, I missed a lot of the beginning, but I tried to catch up while I could. I think they could fake a 24-hour sun in probably a few ways. You know, they got Project Bluebeam. They could possibly be hanging the fake suns off of Led Zeppelins in the sky. I don't know. It's all guesswork, speculation, and I'm just looking forward to see what happens. But no, thanks, guys. Hey, Fisherman in the Box, what's up? Great chat, man. And thanks again, guys. Good to see you, and we'll see you next time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So there you have it, guys. We have to be open, see every aspect, see every possibilities. We can't just even say that if the Earth, if there's a 24-hour sun, then the Earth is a globe or there's a problem for flat Earth. No, People have to be open. Just because right now the people don't understand what are the possibilities, the research is much more advanced, right? It's just that the people are not looking. People are not looking all around. It's just limiting in themselves to a particular area, and that's our universe and world is, and everything happens beyond is just like it's not possible, or right. So we have to be open. We had Joe Hanvey, who was doing his own model and showing optically that it might be possible. We shared a video of how the north and the vortex has been like reflecting, possibly reflecting on the southern parts, including the star trails and including all the luminaries inside it. And that could be the sun too. The video I couldn't play about the 24-hour sun, that's almost 21-hour sun video. I don't know if many flat earthers have looked into it, but it's right there, right? I'll be trying to upload this, right? And showing how Joe is showing that those on the southern part, those reflection of circling the same way with data from this Antarctica base that is showing the same thing with data, that there is a possibilities and with a video. So it was all just to have that the people can understand that we have to be open and there might be possibilities of having a sun, because if it's happening here in the north, right, it's almost even for example in Spain, we are not very close to the North Pole, but still in the summer we have 20-hour, almost 19-hour sun, 18-hour sun, right? So the light could be playing some phenomena. Go dig into it, right? So this whole the final experiment thing, what I'm seeing too is like Will Duffy is too much overconfident with this.
Yeah.
So it's too much overconfident, and the way these people are building it up with other celebrities and the people from different podcasts, and the way these people are trying to hype it up, they have look like they already have it set it up. Maybe they're taking advantage of something that the flat earthers majority don't understand, right? But that doesn't mean all don't understand, right? So open your eyes, look for it, and also I would say my opinion is be ready for whatever is the outcome, or whatever way they're gonna present it after, right? And make it a hit piece. So yeah, let's see what happened. But this should continue. This discussion should continue, and yeah, the sooner or better we try to understand what this realm is beyond, not limiting ourselves to the ice wall, like beyond, right? And horizontal level and above the sky too, right? So yep. There you have it, guys. If you're first time here, do hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah, we have lots of podcasts from few years to go into. We have done a lot of different cosmologies. We have discussed a lot of amazing stuff. Antarctica, the Antarctica TD, many other different amazing um, topics all over flat earth. We had some amazing guests here too. So yeah, do look into that too. And thanks to everyone for being here. Thanks to Joe Hanvey, shout out to you, brother, and thanks to Dave, and thanks to Gene Edited, and thanks to Keith Cameron Smith, and each one of you guys are here who spend time with us tonight. The final experiment, the final observation, or the show. Let's see what's happened. Like, let's keep the eyes open. So, thank you, everyone. This is Vikka Draziv signing out. See you next week on Heliopsychosis podcast. Bye, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Night.